Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Monty Williams has been let go as the head coach of the Detroit Pistons. Is this a possible reunion where Monty Williams would now join Willie Green staff? We're about to talk about it right now.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth now.
Brought to you by the Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. Have you been injured in any kind or accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore? Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give them a call, y'all, at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, a free consultation. They always fight for the win. So reporting again from Adrian Wojnarowski today that Monty Williams, after 1 year in Detroit, Ross, has been let go of the head coach. Obviously, the Pistons owe him about $65 million. Are you real quick, your overall thoughts? Like, are you pretty shocked that Monty was fired?
No. They were awful last year. I think they lose. I think they set the record 28 losses in a row or 26 whatever it is.
It was a lot.
Yeah, they set the record there. I mean, there were rumblings mid-year that like he didn't want to be there, and he was starting Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey, and then it was just it didn't go well at all. I mean, look, and to be fair, when they gave him the contract, we all said, who? Monty, $75 million? The same Monty Williams that like kind of underachieved in Phoenix outside of that one short Soviet year when they went to the final or whatever. Like, I mean, yeah, it was a bad contract that he never should have gotten. It didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Things went really poorly last year. I think, like, if he had 2 years left on this deal, nobody would have batted an eye. If he had 3 years left on this deal, nobody would have batted an eye. It's just the fact that they just made him the highest head coach,
right,
in NBA history, and now, like, a year later, you can him. It's a perfectly justifiable firing.
Yeah, and so now it's interesting, right? So Monty Williams owed a lot of money, and obviously he and Willie Green have a very they have a history together, right? Willie Green was under Monty Williams' staff for 2 years in Phoenix, and the Pelicans hired Willie Green from that staff. Monty Williams' second head coaching job in the last 4 years. He's been fired now twice. Probably don't think he gets a head coaching job over the next couple of years. So it's interesting with James Borrego possibly, being rumored to LA and Cleveland and now Detroit. You're most likely going to need to replace James Borrego. Is it? I mean, we've heard some rumblings, and Christian Clark just came out with an article and said as well that this might be a possibility where Monty Williams could join Willie Green's staff. Do you think? What are, I guess, your thoughts on that? All right, because obviously Willie and Monty are very close together, and there's a couple factors playing here. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on if you would like that move for Willie Green's staff. Yeah,
I mean, the short answer is absolutely not. I don't really know what Monty's calling card is anymore. Nothing against Monty Williams. I think in a lot of ways, he's probably very similar to Willie Green. Generally speaking, it sounds like he's a very good guy, like a good human being, all that stuff. But I don't know what value he brings that Willie doesn't already bring. Those two guys on the same staff doesn't make any sense to me, at all. Monty doesn't have a thing, right? He's not some great offensive coach. He's not apparently Willie Green's thing is defense, right? I mean, other than maybe just bring some experience to the staff, but
that's what I would think. That's what I would think.
I don't know, man. That's squishy as hell. I would rather get some I don't want to bring the same personality on the bench. If you're going to bring someone new to the bench, it needs to be somebody with a different way of doing business. Not another, I mean, lack of a better term, not another nice guy. We don't need another nice guy.
So my thought process with the money, I agree with you there, Ross. What I'm thinking is that if Borrego leaves, you still need a backup plan in case I keep saying this, if the season goes south, you're going to need a backup plan for a head coach, right? And so I don't think you want to go through this another process. This would be their third process in the last 7 years of trying to find a head coach. Eventually that you get tired of that. It's the same process. So my thought process is, okay, if you keep Borrego, he would be the next guy in line. Well, now you're probably going to lose Borrego. So Monty Williams comes in, he goes to the lead assistant role. If Willie doesn't have a great year, he probably, gets released or fired. And then you just would promote Monty Williams. Now, thinking about it, They would probably want to hire a cheap coach. Monty Williams is guaranteed $65 million. You're probably not coming out of pocket at all, really, to just promote Monty as the head coach. So do you think they're thinking along the lines like, okay, if this thing goes south, we need a backup plan here. We're going to lose Borrego, maybe bring in a former head coach like Monty Williams, who has NBA finals experience, playoff experience, and possibly help Willie Green? Or if it goes bad with Willie Green, he would then just be promoted to head coach.
I mean, sure, that could be part of their thought process. I think it's a bad thought process. You would be just recycling a process, like something that hasn't worked, right? Just Monty went 64-18 that one year with the Suns, 64-18, and he's got still a losing record as a head coach. Like he just hasn't done anything other than, again, 1 year where you had a Hall of Famer or two on the roster, and I don't want Monty to be anywhere near the head coaching job. I don't even know that I don't want Willie Green near the head coaching job much longer.
Right.
Fair. I don't want his a disciple of his to just sort of step into the role like this. We keep talking about this. Change is needed. Change is needed. Well, that's not change. That's a different name, but it's not change. In theory, it's not change in style. It's not change in personality. It's not a change at all. Look, if this was a scenario where, where I thought you were just bringing Monty in as an assistant coach, here's an example. If Borrego was the head coach and you were telling me, hey, we're going to bring Monty in as an assistant. Okay. There's
right. There's a balance. There's an offense. There's a balance.
There's something so now I lean more into he does have some experience, and he, historically has been known to be pretty good with players and has a defensive background and all that stuff. But you already have that as the head coach, and it's not really working, in my opinion, all that well. So no, I just don't want him anywhere near the staff right now, because I think it just leads to what ultimately will be another bad outcome.
Right. Yeah. And that's my thought process. So I guess my last question to you is, do you think Monty Williams would even take the job to be a lead assistant? Right. So your Army got $65 million in the bank. Do you think he just maybe takes a year off? I know he's dealing with some personal issues with his wife, and I hope she's okay. But do you think maybe now he's thinking along the lines of, okay, well, I just got fired again twice in the last, 3 years. I've guaranteed all this money. Why do I need to go find another job?
I mean, that's got to be in the back of it. And I don't know his personal issues, and I'm not wishing ill on anybody's family or anything like that. So whatever's going on with his family, hopefully gets corrected or what have you. I mean, it's got to be in the back of your mind, right? And generally speaking, these guys have a couple options. Either you go the SVG route, you're going to continue to get paid, go do some TV work, kind of start to fade into what is a semi-retirement, or the other route is you take a buyout, you get off under that contract, you do everything you got to do with, to get away from the Pistons thing. And then, you go look for a head. I mean, I don't think it's a lock that he just takes an assistant job.
Right.
For instance, would it totally shock you if the Lakers hired him? It wouldn't shock me one bit.
You think that the Lakers would then try to go poach Monty Williams and have them be the head coach of the Lakers?
I'm not saying that I would do that if I'm the Lakers. I'm just saying that type of thing. I wouldn't if that was reported later today or tomorrow or something, I wouldn't just be oh, it's totally out of left field. It's the same person the Lakers have been hiring, Frank Vogel, right. Darwin Ham. They just keep going, get these sort of 1 year sort of, not the strongest head coaches on earth. I mean, LeBron's sort of leading that ship. Do they really want to hire JJ Redick? It's he's never coached before. I hadn't heard a lot from the Borrego stuff with them. It wouldn't totally shock me if they're a veteran head coach. It's just right. Plug and play guy that knows how to handle the media a little bit and whatever. I mean, that type of thing wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's a lock that he immediately jumps into some lead assistant coaching job somewhere.
So let me ask you this. So it was actually, there's no source behind this. It's just kind of a tweet from Fletcher Mackel, but he was saying, I'm pulling up the tweet right now, but it was kind of an interesting tweet, but basically said, the tweet says speculation about Pelicans head coach Willie Green going to Detroit will be fascinating. Willie was born and raised in Detroit, Cooley High School in Detroit. Would new Pistons president Trajan Lang try to trade for the guy he helped bring to New Orleans? Do you think there are any legs whatsoever to that? Or do you think that's just kind of a, more of an engagement post and getting people's thoughts on that? Because I personally, I don't see that happening. But I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, again, seems sort of unlikely to me. I mean, I don't. Why would the Pistons hire like a disciple of, or I mean, I keep calling him a disciple, but like, why would you hire sort of a protege of the guy you just fired? Like, it doesn't seem like it seemed like, and I mean, it seemed like you were going to go a different direction. You already hired Fred Vinson, who, in theory was one of the better assistants we had on the staff, help with shooting. That to me made sense. They have 3 or 4 young players that they've drafted very high in the draft that like aren't great shooters right now. You bring in sort of a specialist like that. I don't, it's not the direction I would go, but look, there's certainly like a little background there, right? He is from Detroit. I don't know his relationship with Trajan. Like, maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Somebody, you or Five, somebody a little closer to the folks inside last year would have to sort of help out with that. Like, it wouldn't be out of left field. Like, I mean, there's been a little smoke around. Like, I mean, Willie hasn't just gotten like all gold stars for the way the season ended. People are jumping off this ship, it seems like, as fast as humanly possible. I don't know. I still think it's really unlikely. I certainly don't think you would trade for Willie Green.
No, I think that would be.
Nonetheless. No, I mean, it seems a little bit unlikely just based on who they fired and everything else. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they've now poached 2 Pelicans former employees and Willie's from Detroit. Hey, who knows?
Make sure you smash that like button. What's that? What did you want to say?
Willie is a great coach, though. They should definitely take a long look at him.
Smash that like button. Let us know your thoughts on possibly Monty Williams joining Willie Green's staff, and if Willie Green wants to go to Detroit. There's a lot of moving parts here. Obviously, we'll talk about this more on the Sunday night show. Hit that bell notification. We're going to go live Sunday night at 8:00. So once again, presented by the Company Burger located at 4600 Fretcher and Crystal Hot Sauce. We will see y'all a little bit later.